We are back with Rita Brent. We've had such a great discussion about your life. We talked about that yesterday, but today we're going to talk about this new talk show.
Oh, yeah.
How did this come about? I heard that this was like a birthday present to yourself.
It was. Now, there's a thing called Facebook memories, right?
Okay.
I check my memories every day, and for the longest, I have been saying, I want my own late night show. I need to be on late night. And I think it is because the format of late night, the template fits all of my skill sets. So with radio, there comes interviewing. So I get to do that. I get to do the music. So I sing a little bit. I improv. I play drums. And of course, I do stand-up comedy. I have the monologue. And so I've always thought that the late night platform would be the most conducive to all of my skill sets. And, you know, this year, I had auditioned for some things. Like I had sent in an audition tape for Saturday Night Live. I didn't get it. I sent in something for Netflix. I auditioned for something. I didn't get it. And I felt myself getting depressed. And I'm like, God, I know I'm talented. Why am I continuously getting rejected? And, you know, it could be a number of things, politics, whatever. Just not my time. It's somebody else's, you know, it's their blessing. And I said, you know what? For my birthday, because I always do something big for my birthday. Usually it's the GOAT Bash, the greatest Aquarius of all time. And I said, I'm just going to do a late night show.
Wow.
I'm going to do a late night show. January 2025, and I did it, and I had Bobby Rush on the show, and it felt magical.
Wow.
You know, the crowd, they noticed it as well. They were like, oh, this is different, Rita. Because I've done standalone comedy shows, I've done the workout room, I've done events, but the late night show is different because it's not just me. I'm also bringing awareness to folks with roots in Mississippi. You know, so we're getting to hear the stories of successful folks from Mississippi who have moved on or are still here.
Any fear in starting this show?
Oh, yeah. Well, especially after I decided that I was going to continue doing it, I was like, okay, you know, how do I prove to these folks that I am legitimate to get them to come on the show? Because we've been having 5 or 6 guests on each show, you know?
Wow.
So how do I convince a Ricky Smiley to come to Jackson, Mississippi to be on my late night show?
And Ricky Smiley, comedian Ricky Smiley, is a mentor of yours. You traveled around with him sometimes on his radio show.
Absolutely.
But then you had him on your show. Talk about how that came about.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I started a late night show. And he's like, okay, Rita, okay. And I was like, you know, I need you to be a guest because we're trying to legitimize it. And I want people to know that it's the real deal.
Right.
And, you know, you got to have guests. You have to have great guests on a late night show. And so he was like, yeah, I'm 99% I can do it. So I called him the day of and I was like, all right, bro, I see you tonight. And he was like, for what? And I was like, the late night show. And he was like, oh, okay, Rita, I'm coming. So he, you know, gets a driver. He comes from Alabama.
That's love.
He makes it a couple hours before the show, and we sat right here on this very stage. He was a surprise to the audience. I didn't announce him until he came on stage, and everybody was like, whoa, you know.
And you've had a lot of great guests, a lot of local guests who are heavy hitters here, but they're really funny.
Oh, yeah.
Councilman Stokes.
Oh, yeah. That was one for the books. Councilman Stokes.
Interviewing him because I've interviewed him, of course, for different topics dealing with the news.
Yeah.
But this is a more relaxed setting. But he's so funny and he does not try.
But you say, was I nervous to do the show? I was nervous to interview Councilman Stokes, you know, because
you don't know what he's going to say.
You just don't know what he's going to say. And you don't know if what you're going to ask him is going to rub him the wrong way. And then you become a soundbite at your expense.
You have Bobby Rush on, right?
Oh, man,
in his 90s. And he's full of energy.
Yes. And Mr. Rush was
a ladies' man.
Mr. Rush had me on edge. He said, I'm 99% I'm coming, baby. I'm coming, you know. And he came and woo, that was one for the books because I didn't know about his history.
Yeah.
You know, he talked about being raised by a white family. Yeah. And I've not yet read his book, but him talking about having, you know, to navigate racism in the industry and to be over 90 years old. And I mean, I just talked to him the other day. He's like, yeah, I just did 8 countries, you know, overseas. But he has to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? I think that is literally what is keeping him going.
But for people who have never seen the show, how would you describe it in one word and why?
Edutainment. I think that's a good way to put it. A little education, a little entertainment. It's a beautiful blend of both of them. You're going to get some music. You're going to get some laughs. You're going to get some inspiration. You're going to get a history lesson, you know. Yeah. So it's something to behold and experience live.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time, and it's live. Talk about that, because you have to roll with the punches.
Oh yeah, you have to roll with the punches. Bloopers, you know, sound issues, outfit issues, you know, because I've had a couple outfits on, and you know, it's about to be some Janet Jackson situations, you know, someone button up like it was supposed to be, you know, and I'm like, hey, y'all act like y'all didn't see that, you know, we're gonna cut that out when it goes to air. But that's the beauty of live.
Yeah.
You have to tell people to give us grace. You know?
Yeah.
And also, this is my first season, so it's a well-oiled machine now.
And you are your authentic self, and that's what people love. Here's the thing: you could have done this show anywhere. Why Jackson? Because you know sometimes people associate Jackson and Mississippi with crime, poverty, lack of education.
Yeah.
But it's like you're putting Mississippi on the map in a positive way with the show. Talk a little about that.
Yeah, I think the question is why not Jackson? You know, if we think about New York and Los Angeles and all these places, they have their staple shows. You know, they have their Jimmy Fallons and their Stephen Colbert's. The South needs something like this too. We need a flag that we can wave and be proud to wave it. So that's why. And I know that there's an abundance of talent and capable folks here, you know, so my band, my 7-piece band, all friends of mine who are musicians, my camera crew, you know, they are Jackson-based and Mississippi raised, you know, so it is also, it's like a form of rebellion, you know. It's like, I know the narrative that you're trying to spread, but here is my counter narrative.
Yeah.
And it's right here in the flesh, and it's evidence.
And then you got the call to be on Fox 40 with Patrice Clark.
Yeah, Patrice.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, here's the thing. We did a promo together, and it has gone viral. And now people walk up to me, and they're like, Patrice. And people don't understand, like, sometimes this is at you're going off the top of the dome with this stuff. Did you ever think that the announcement that you would be on Fox 40 would blow up this much?
Man, I didn't. You know, so the finale of the show, I announced it at the show. And, you know, we had Ramona on.
Our general manager,
general manager. And she came and interrupted the show. And I was like, you know, by the way, y'all, Fox 40, you know, the Late Night with Rita Brent is coming to Fox 40. And the crowd just erupted. And I'm like, oh, okay. So this is a different reception. You know, I mean, it's kind of like the car commercials. Like, I do them, you know, but folks are really blown away by the car commercials. But I think it is a testament to people being proud, you know, of somebody from Jackson, Mississippi making it, you know, and also being proud of where I'm from.
I mean, it's just not people here. I mean, there are people who are calling me. They're like, you know Rita Brent? I mean, my mother's like, oh, I love Rita. I mean, she's watching you every day. Then I ask her, hey, did you watch me on TV? She's like, I didn't get a chance, but I did see Rita. Tell her I said hello. You know, it's just amazing. I know you probably get people all over who are like, you're going to be on Fox 40. I gotta watch you.
I know, it really is exciting. And I keep saying this, you know, speaking of a mantra, I used to have this idea that God works in mysterious ways. Well, now my belief is that God works in intentional ways, you know, so being on Fox 40, what it's going to allow is for me to polish the show, you know, so when the show is live, it's about 2 hours, where now we're going to condense it to about 42 minutes, you know, and so people will be able to get to see, oh, so if there is a bigger network that is interested in the show, well, they're going to see it, you know, being birthed right here on Fox 40. So to start at home, which is what my entire career has been about, starting things at home, you know, I think it's supposed to be this way, you know? So I appreciate Fox 40 for buying into the brand. I'll say that.
Taking a big chance.
That's right. That's right. And I won't let you down. But the show is airing this fall, and I'm very fortunate that it's going to be during very prime time, if you ask me, like right after the NFL games. So Sunday evenings, Sunday nights at 10 p.m., you know, so get your Sunday nap in after you leave church, because I need y'all to stay up and get those ratings very, very high.
Get them high.
That's right.
What does the future look like for Rita Brent?
Well, we're actually going to do a season 2 of Late Night with Rita Brent.
Okay. Exciting.
Absolutely. It's coming. And so we're going to have more exciting guests. You know, of course, the show is going to be much more polished because we've gotten through the trial and error phase in season 1. But I am very excited to bring it back, you know, bigger and better and fresher. So season 2 is coming at the top of 2026.
Okay. Anything else you want to say to the viewers looking at camera right now and tell them why should they watch Late Night with Rita Brent.
You should watch Late Night with Rita Brent because I am homegrown. I am from Mississippi. I am a product of Mississippi. I am not ashamed. I am very excited to bring a positive light to my city and my state. And so you watch because there's going to be people on here that you know. You watch because you get to see me in a J-Set outfit. You watch because I'm going to be singing and dancing, and it'll just be a great way to spend your Sunday night. So Sundays, starting this fall, the first show is September 14th, 10 p.m. every Sunday. I need y'all support. I thank you for your support thus far. But yeah, we're just getting started.
Thank you, Rita, for joining me.
Thank you, Patrice.
Homegrown Rita Brent. Remember, starting this Sunday, you can catch the best of Late Night with Rita Brent at 10 p.m. after the game. You don't want to miss it.